Welcome to Phase 3 Rewire. If you've made it this far, congratulations. By now you've already built a strong foundation. You've established your eating window, you've removed liquid calories, you've started moving consistently, you've audited your food environment using the Triple T system. And during Phase 2, you shifted towards slower burning foods, increased your protein intake, and began learning how hunger, energy, and burn rate influence your daily decisions. Now we're ready to add another important piece to the rebuild: gut health. For the next several weeks, your primary objective is simple: eat 30 different plants each week. Not every day. Each week, 30 different plants. Now before you panic, understand that plants don't just mean vegetables. Plants include vegetables, fruits, beans, legumes, herbs, spices, nuts, seeds, whole grains. Even a tablespoon of cinnamon counts. A handful of walnuts counts, garlic counts, onions count, blueberries count, broccoli counts. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is diversity. Why does this matter? Inside your digestive system lives a massive ecosystem of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms collectively known as the gut microbiome. Think of it like a garden. If you only grow one plant in a garden, the ecosystem becomes limited. But when you grow many different plants, diversity increases. The same concept applies inside your gut. Different plant foods provide different fibers, nutrients, and compounds that help support different microbial populations. Research continues to suggest that individuals who consume a wider variety of plant foods often have a more diverse gut microbiome. And diversity is generally considered a positive sign of a healthy ecosystem. Now let's be clear. Phase 3 is not a vegetarian phase. It is not a vegan phase. And it is not replacing everything you learned in Phase 2. We're building on it. You still follow the 4 core rules. You still use the Triple T system. You still focus on Tier 1 foods. You still prioritize protein. You still respect burn rate. We're simply adding diversity to the system. Think of Phase 1 as cleaning up the environment. Think of Phase 2 as improving fuel selection. Think of Phase 3 as improving the ecosystem. One of the easiest ways to succeed in this phase is to start keeping score. Every time you eat a different plant food, write it down. Blueberries, spinach, bell peppers, black beans, chia seeds, avocado, cinnamon, garlic. The list adds up faster than most people think. Many participants are surprised to discover they've been eating the same 5 or 6 plant foods for years. This phase encourages you to explore, try a new vegetable, add a new spice, experiment with foods you've never considered before. The goal is curiosity, the goal is variety. The goal is building a more resilient nutritional foundation. Remember, we're not chasing perfection, we're expanding options, we're increasing diversity, and we're continuing the rebuild. Stay active in the discussion board. Share your favorite discoveries, share your recipes, share your plant count, and let's see how many different plants you can bring into your week. Good luck in Phase 3. Let's get to work.
Welcome to Phase 3 Rewire. In Phase 1, you optimized your food environment. In Phase 2, you refined your fuel selection. Now, in Phase 3, we are going to focus on the master control center that dictates how your entire physiology processes those changes: your gut. When most people think about health, they think about weight. When scientists look at metabolic health, we look at cellular communication, systemic crosstalk, and physiological logistics. To understand your metabolism, you must realize that your gut is not a passive food processing tube. It functions as the central dispatcher of the entire human machine. Think of your digestive tract as a high-velocity biological routing hub. It does not simply sit there and break down fuel. It actively dispatches critical regulatory instructions across your entire physiological network. It dispatches raw building blocks via nutrient absorption to rebuild cellular architecture. It dispatches immune protocols, directing over 70% of your body's total immune system activity. It dispatches endocrine signaling packets, instructing the pancreas exactly how to manage insulin secretion. It dispatches precise peptide hormones straight to the hypothalamus to permanently silence intrusive food noise. And through the vagus nerve, it maintains a direct, bidirectional neural pathway, communicating constantly with your brain. If the central dispatcher is compromised, your fuel routing fails, your systemic signals cross, and your metabolic flexibility stalls. Your gut is a highly complex, dynamic ecosystem. Inside this routing hub live trillions of microorganisms collectively known as the gut microbiome. Think of these microbial strains as a highly specialized metabolic workforce. Different bacterial populations are qualified for different operational tasks. Some are dispatched to ferment complex prebiotics. Some produce short-chain fatty acids that actively seal and protect your intestinal lining. Others dispatch the specific chemical signals required to maintain sharp insulin sensitivity across your muscle tissue. Just like a complex ecosystem requires a vast web of different species, a resilient metabolism requires a highly diverse microbial profile. When your workforce is varied, your dispatcher can send the correct regulatory signals to the rest of your body. That is why ecosystem diversity is the strict mandate of Phase 3. Many people feed their machine the exact same identical inputs every single day. The same 3 proteins, the same 2 vegetables, the same predictable meals. Over time, your internal workforce downsizes. Crucial strains of beneficial bacteria starve off, your dispatcher loses its specialists, and your metabolic flexibility plummets. Phase 3 challenges that limitation. Your operational target is to introduce 30 unique plant foods each week. Why? Because different plants contain distinct profiles of prebiotic fibers, structural matrices, and micronutrients called polyphenols. Each unique plant compound feeds a different specialized strain of bacteria. The more variety you introduce, the more raw materials you provide to diversify your workforce, expanding your dispatcher's capability to optimize your energy balance. Now remember, this phase does not replace the work you have already executed. You are still tracking the 4 core rules. You are still utilizing the Triple T system to eliminate toxic inputs. You are prioritizing Tier 1 sovereign foods, strictly managing your burn rate, and maintaining your high satiety protein thresholds. We are simply layering ecosystem diversity onto your clean foundation: food quality, fuel selection, and now, microbial optimization. One of the biggest flaws in mainstream nutrition is searching for a singular, perfect superfood. Biological resilience is built exclusively through compounding patterns, and the most powerful pattern you can establish is structural variety. Different colors, different vegetables, different herbs, spices, seeds, and legumes. Every new plant input is a direct chemical investment that upgrades the capabilities of your internal dispatcher. As you navigate this phase, leverage Gemini constantly. Use the platform to log your plant metrics, scan ingredient panels, analyze complex fiber profiles, and discover functional foods you have never utilized before. The goal is not restriction. The goal is systemic expansion. The goal is diversity. And the goal is the complete structural rewire of your metabolism. Optimize the workforce, clear the dispatch lines, trust the system, and let's continue moving forward.